Hello and welcome to a quick tutorial on using iSpraak, which is found at iSpraak.com. So iSpraak is an online activity generator for foreign language faculty that automates speech evaluation for second language learners. You as the instructor to make a new activity, you would go to iSpraak.com, you would enter your educational email address, select your language of instruction. For this first example, I'm going to select French, which is the language that I teach. And the third kind of field here asks me if I have an MP3 audio file that I could upload and use as a model for students to listen to. Rather than using an MP3 audio file on this go-around, I'm going to let the program actually synthesize the text into a text-to-speech file. So I'm not going to upload a file right now. What I'll do is here in the last field, it asks me to enter the text that I want my students to read. So I'm just going to do an example sentence here. Où sont les enfants de Pierre? And that's it. So I've put in my email address, the language of instruction, the fact that I don't have a model audio file prepared in advance, and the text that I want my students to listen to and to practice speaking. Once I have all that information in, I click the Submit button. And what happens now is I'm given two links. I have a link here for the students that I can copy and paste, and I have a private link for myself. And both these links have also been emailed to me for my review. So what I'm going to do is open a new tab here with the student link. And it remembers the last time I was here, so I put in my student name and email address. And I'm going to click Start Activity, and we'll see the student experience. So here we have the main activity window with the text that we provided, Où sont les enfants de Pierre? And over here we have a few different options of listening to this. We can listen to it in a synthesized voice from a female, a male speaker, or a slow down speaker. And slow down speaker is also the female, just at 70% speed. So for example, if I wanted to listen to the female, I would click.
Où sont les enfants de Pierre?
And I can go back and listen to it again as the male or the turtle. And as a student here, what I would do to practice speaking is click on the microphone icon. Où sont les enfants de Pierre? Then I click it again to stop the speech-to-text, or the speech-to-text recognition. And then I click Submit Assignment as a student. What will happen now is that I get a score graded for me automatically with the text that was transcribed by the student, and the score and the text are saved in a database for the instructor. So if we go back and resubmit this activity, maybe not doing quite so well, maybe mispronouncing some of the words, we'll have a slightly different experience. So let's give that a try. Où ont les enfants de bas? Okay, so that was an example of maybe an imprecise pronunciation of the model text. And so now as a student, if they click Submit Assignment, they're going to get an automated score. Here we have the 77%. And the words that I really butchered seem to be sont and Pierre. And so these words are kind of taken out for the student to click on. And here they're taken to forvo.com, where they can listen to the word sont read in isolation by native speakers, or there are also some uses of sont in phrases like elles sont. Going further down, we have a lot more. Elles sont allées, les carottes sont cuites, les yeux sont bruns, which is great for students to kind of hear the word from a native speaker in context. Forvo is a great resource. It's all volunteer, crowdsourced pronunciations by native speakers. So that's the experience for the student, both doing very well, getting a perfect score, and also for mispronouncing some words, which is quite common. So you, as the instructor, as I mentioned, were also provided with an instructor link that is private to you. So when you click here, you'll see that there were two submissions, both by the same student, with the date And the text submitted, the first one, did very well with 100. I didn't miss any words. And it has the transcription of the text I provided, which did match the model text. And the second one, I have got the score, how many words were missed, and the text submitted, which actually looks like où vont les enfants de bas. And what I can do, this is an option, but what I can do right now is I can email the student from the program to maybe provide some more feedback. So for the student who did well, I might just say, très bien, good job, and maybe nothing more. Maybe I could provide whatever feedback you want to provide. And what will happen is when you email the student, you also will be CC'd at your email address. So I'm going to go ahead and email this student. And then I'm going to go back to my grades. And what I'll see here when I'm on the review screen is that this student has been emailed, a little check mark under the envelope. And this student has yet to be emailed. One of the other nice features about iSpraak is the dialect support for some of the languages. So if I were to do this again, put in my educational email address, some of these languages here, and there are 21 languages right now that are supported, some of them will have multiple dialect support, support for different regions, such as Arabic, for example, has multiple dialects that are supported. Another example is Spanish, so we can go ahead and do a Spanish example. Again, I'll put my email address in, select Spanish as my language of instruction. I don't have an audio file right now, and I'm just going to put in some text here. Estoy hablando contigo en español. Click Submit. So the same thing that we saw before, we have the student link that we can copy and email to the students, and we have our private link to review the student submissions. So let's go ahead and see the student experience again to show you some of that dialect support. Again, I'm going to put my name, my email address to start the activity. I have the model text, Estoy hablando contigo en español, and then I have the three different text-to-speech premium voices here, the female, the male, and the turtle. But what you'll see down here for Spanish, next to it, it says Mexico. You can change this to the region where perhaps the students might be more familiar with the dialect. If you are teaching Spanish and are from Argentina, maybe you would want to change the acoustic model here to Argentina, or maybe to Spain. You're from Spain. As you can see, there's about a dozen different options here. And what this will do, it basically just changes how the program listens to certain sounds, especially the ones that are different from the default, which is Mexico right here. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to, we'll change it to Spain. And I'm going to practice speaking again. Estoy hablando contigo en español. So there you go. It transcribes my text word for word, just as I said it. I submit assignment. I get my score. I did very well. And that's it. And of course, having done that, the submission is saved also to the instructor. So the instructor can view all the submissions. So one of the great things about iSpraak, I think, is that it's a tool that allows you to avoid kind of the tedious process of listening to recorded student audio. And also the problem with recorded student audio is the delay in feedback that comes from you. So in the best case, if a student records something for you, the best case, you might be able to give them some feedback that day. But not only is that tedious, it's not as immediate as using something that automates the transcription of their output. And while speech recognition for some of the languages may seem less precise or inexact or not perfect, this is kind of a developing technology. What I've found is that using a tool like this is great to get students speaking outside of the classroom. Even if the transcription isn't perfect, it's them practicing speaking more often, which is great. So iSpraak.com right now, it's still in development, but you're welcome to go ahead and check it out. Use it by visiting our website at ispraak.com, and you don't have to register to begin using it. You just put in your email address, your language, and you put your text in. In fact, you can make a dozen activities without being asked to register. And if you decide that this is something you'd like to adopt for your classes or for your institution, registering is as easy as clicking here, giving us some information about your name, the name of your university and school, and your school email address. And we'll get you set up right away that day. So that's kind of an overview of iSpraak.com and what it does and what it can offer you and your students. It's a great supplement for any textbook, any method, however you teach the language. And again, we have language support for 21 languages, multiple dialects. It's very easy to just send the students an email and get a summary review of all the responses. If you have any questions, you're free to reach out to me directly. You can email me at llc@slu.edu. Again, llc@slu.edu. And check it out. Make a few activities, have some fun, try it out with your students, and see if it would work for the context that you teach in. Thanks again for your time, and please check out our website.